Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, June 13th, 2025. Welcome to another eBay video. In tonight's video, we're going to be discussing feedback changes that have been already rolled out in the UK that will be coming to a theater near you real soon. You're going to want to see what I have to show you. All right? We're also going to talk about a best offer that went horribly wrong. I honestly don't know how this could even be allowed to happen. I'm going to talk about the two eBay meetups I went to, which was Tuesday night and Thursday night. I'm going to talk about ghost listings and as many other topics as I can squeeze in. And if I have enough time at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you about a crazy accident that happened literally right in front of me late last night, coming home from Brooklyn, coming home from the eBay shindig. So let's get started. I also want to mention one thing. Tomorrow, which is Saturday, and Sunday, it's going to be cloudy and rainy both days. That's not newsworthy, but according to the news, it has rained 15 straight weekends in a row, not missing a single one. I don't know what to say. I've never seen so many cloudy, rainy, cool days in what's supposed to be either the spring or the summer. But anyway, let's get right into the eBay video. And I'm going to start off with the main topic, which is feedback changes. I don't have time to do any cutaways today, so I'm going to work off my phone. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to read the presentation that was presented to us Tuesday at our eBay New York City event by eBay representatives. And after I read it and discuss it, I'll even hold the phone up so you can see it yourself. This little update has good news and bad news. I'm going to start off with the good news and I will read verbatim. First thing, automatic positive feedback for all sellers. In the UK, we now leave eBay automatic feedback when the buyer didn't leave feedback within 7 days of delivery as confirmed by tracking. We can't see any indication of an issue with the transaction, and tracking shows the item was delivered on time. This is excellent news for all of you. As I said, it hasn't been rolled out here yet. It will be later this year. There are a few codicils that I must tell you about. Number one, the eBay automatic feedback will be rather general in nature. It will say something like, the seller successfully completed a transaction. Something simple, and it will increase your feedback score by 1. However, it will not carry as much weight as a positive feedback that's left manually by your happy buyer. Also, keep in mind, even if eBay does leave you the automatic positive feedback, the buyer still has the option to come in and override that feedback with either their own custom comment saying, I received the blue sweater in great condition, I love it so much. And that would supersede eBay's comment, okay? That's fine. Or the buyer could come in and decide to leave you a negative instead, and that would knock out eBay's automatic positive feedback. I know some of you aren't going to like that, and I get it, but I still think this is definitely a win for sellers because bad buyers can still leave us negative feedback now. Only difference is now we're going to be getting a lot more automated positives that we've never had in the past. So that is good news. Now I must also tell you the bad news. Pay attention. I said pay a freaking attention. eBay will no longer auto remove feedback in two scenarios. Number one, The item was returned used or damaged, and the seller deducted an amount from the refund. Number 2, the seller offers free returns, handled the return, and issued a refund. I gotta comment on that. Oh, wait. First, let me show you. Put the video on pause for a second if you want to read that. Okay? Now, I don't feel bad for anybody offering free returns because you shouldn't be offering them unless eBay is making you offer them. And we'll touch on that topic next. I have never offered free returns in my life, and I always said I never would unless eBay required it. I met quite a few people this last week who actually offer free returns. Guys, if that's what you want to do, that's your business, all right? You do what works for you. It doesn't work for cute Joey, all right? No free returns here. So, the fact that eBay is not removing unfair negative feedback, I don't know what to tell you about that. Don't offer free returns. How about that? Okay? And as far as the first one I said, when you receive an item back and you take a deduction, I don't know why they're taking this step. To me, in my opinion, that doesn't make very much sense. But what I want to talk more about right now is, since I've already broached the subject, is free returns. In my last video, I showed you the summer seller update where eBay is requiring free returns in eBay Motors for new and new other auto parts. They were very ambiguous as to whether they're going to require it for used returns. So when I was at the events Tuesday and Thursday, I asked the powers that be. And I was even going to get Valerie, I even asked Valerie to do a short snippet here on the Crazy New York Driver Show, which she did agree to. But at the very end, we got separated. We never did hook back up again, so you'll just have to take Joe's word for it. Free returns will not be required for used auto parts in eBay Motors. I am so happy, so absolutely jubilant right now. I think you know what this means. All right, good guys. Now, I want to talk about a best offer scenario that should never be allowed to happen, that happened to me, and it's the first time in my 25-year career this happened. You may remember in last week's video, I was complaining that the best offer feature still does not require immediate payment. Even when we get a best offer that's reasonable and eBay tells us we'll be paid immediately. We're not. There's something really wrong, okay? So last week, as I told you, I received a best offer of $100. Keep that figure in mind. $100 on a $125 item. eBay told me I'd be paid immediately. I accepted because of that. And I was not paid immediately. I was not paid at all. I got stung. Once again. All right. Now, normally, I block the scumbag that does something like that. But to be honest with you, and this is on me, I forgot. All right? I admit it. I forgot. Last night, while I'm at the eBay shindig in Brooklyn, I get a best offer on my phone on the exact same item from the exact same deadbeat bidder, but not for $100. They lowered it to $90. Words fail me. If a person gives us a best offer and we agree to it and they refuse to pay, how is it they're allowed to come back, give a best offer on the same item even less than the original one? I don't get it. Well, this time I did the right thing. I blocked this piece of human trash with their feedback score of 2 from California, so they won't be able to do that again. But oddly enough, 2 or 3 hours later, a person from another state offered me $100 for the item and paid instantly. I doubt it had anything to do with the same person, only for the simple reason this one actually paid. Also, what happened last night at the shindig, which was funny, and I saw this happen live. My friend Scott was with me, and he got a best offer of $55 on an item that's $59. All right, we both looked at each other and we both said the same thing. It's going to be an international person who has no intention of paying. Sure enough, it was. He declined it. All right, think about that. $4 difference. And naturally, the international buyer never then paid the extra $4 and did a buy it now. I'm sure that they had no intention of buying it. They were just feeling him out to see if he would accept the $55 offer. Another problem that I have occurred this week and the last couple of weeks in an alarming rate is something called ghost listings. This has been an urban legend on eBay since day one, and quite frankly, I was wishy-washy on it, whether or not this was actually happening, because sometimes I thought it was me making a mistake. I had 4 of them this week, all right? Something's wrong, all right? For those of you who don't know what a ghost listing is, it's a term that's applied in the following scenario. You have an unusual item and you list it on eBay and it sells. The buyer pays you, you ship it, he gets it, he loves it, everything's fine. A month, 2 months, a year, somewhere down the road, you get a ka-ching on your iPhone and you look and it's that same item. And you know damn well you've only ever had one of them because it's so rare and unusual. How is this happening? If you click cancel, you're going to get stung. All right? Out of stock. It's going to go on you as a demerit. It's happened to me, as I said, 4 times recently. Luckily, I was able to find the item from other sellers. All right? And I had them ship it. So it still worked out for me. All right? But it's very concerning. Very, very concerning. I'm wondering if any of you guys have encountered this ghost listings phenomenon. If so, you know what to do. Write in the comment section. Sales this week, I would say, were a little bit better than they have been. Not super, but a little bit better, so I'm happy for that. Returns, basically constant. One thing they brought up at the meeting has to do with cancellations. I got a question for you guys. Everyone answer this. Let's say right now you get a ka-ching. Your item sells. Within a matter of seconds, you get the cancellation request. We both know it's because eBay has showed this customer your item cheaper from another seller. My question is, do you accept the cancellation? And if you do, how long do you make them wait? Do you jump Johnny on the spot and say, no problem, go ahead and buy it from the other guy, I'll cancel? I've always waited 24 to 48 hours to basically give them, I don't want to say, I guess a lesson. They need to learn a lesson, but that's not the right thing to do. And the eBay representative was talking about it, and she said that they like it, they meaning eBay, when we accept the cancellation right away, because they have found out through studies that when we make a buyer wait 24 or 48 hours, they're less likely to buy another item on eBay. You think? All right? I don't know if they're going to change any requirements on the time for accepting cancellations. I haven't heard of anything like that. But I'm just curious to see what your guys' feelings is on this particular topic. I feel that eBay should not ever be showing our competition's items after a customer buys our items. It's just a dirty practice and it's despicable. And that's the way I feel. All right? Selling on eBay used to be a lot of fun. Lately, you know, you just got to be careful. You got to use this, okay? You can still make a ton of money on eBay no matter what category you sell in. I was talking to some people last night who sell in sports cards. Boy, oh boy, they had some horror stories. Story number one is they will have a special card listed at, let's just say, $500 from a star player. Somebody will buy the card, they'll ship it out, everything's fine. However, maybe a month or two later, something will happen where the star player falls out of favor and the value of his card will plummet from $500 down to $50. Then a bad buyer will file an item not as described claim within the 2-month period because he wants to get his money back because his $500 card is now only worth $50. Another scam they've been doing is something that I've heard about before, calling pack search. It's called pack searching, and it's when you buy a box of cards, let's say Topps Chrome, you rip it open, hoping to find that jewel in the pack, and there is no jewel to be found. And then you file an item not as described case because you got a dud. You got a dud group of cards, which is not the right thing to do, all right? But that's what those folks have been going through. That came up in last night's discussion, and I thought it was worth a mention here. All right, I see I got a little bit of time. So before I go, the last thing I want to talk about is a crazy, crazy accident that happened last night coming home from Brooklyn. First of all, we left Brooklyn maybe around 9:30 p.m. and at first everything was fine. But as we headed to the RFK Bridge, we came to a dead stop. I mean gridlock like I've never encountered, and I've been driving since age 17. I couldn't figure out what was happening. So basically what they did was, there's about 8 lanes of traffic coming from all different ways. You got 4 from the Grand Central, you got 2 from the BQE, you got Steinway Street traffic coming in, all emptying into the RFK Bridge, which is 4 lanes going across, okay? These idiots decided to close off 3 of the 4 lanes at approximately 7 p.m. So by the time we rolled up, there was a monumental jam that we had no idea was going to happen. We sat there an hour and a half. And the worst part was as we got across the bridge, 3 lanes are completely empty. The workers were working on the far right lane on the shoulder on some kind of a water pipe. There was no reason to close all 3 lanes like that. Our elected officials should really sue that construction company. It wasn't the city doing it. It was an outside concern, but I'm sure they got a permit for doing it. Bunch of scumbags. You should have seen the traffic. It was phenomenal. There was a state trooper, New York State trooper, stuck in the same traffic I was, and he had his light on, his siren going. He couldn't get through either. It's literally criminal. But anyway, about the accident. We passed that, crossed the George Washington Bridge, and now we're in Jersey. I'm driving along at a careful and prudent speed, and I observe people coming up behind me rather fast. Anytime I see that, I move right out of the way, let them go. And that's what I did. Let those bad boys go. All right, I'm not a slow driver, but anybody that's driving faster than me, I'm yielding to. So that's what I did. I let them go by. I'm talking to my friend, and we continue maybe another 20 seconds or so. And there had been around 6 or 7 cars in front of me that the fast drivers are also passing. All of a sudden, all brake lights come on in front of me. I can see something happen. I said to him, "Hey, Scott, look, something just happened up here. As we pull up, everything comes to a dead stop. There's maybe 6, 7 cars in front of me. They're stopped, but in front I can see a big wreck. So these meatballs that went flying by us, I don't know how it came about. I really don't know who hit who first, but I think they also took out a couple of civilian cars as well. You know, innocent people like us who just happened to be there heading home. And I saw at least 4 cars involved, and it was serious, all right? Normally I stop and render aid and assistance, but after sitting in the car for over 2 hours in traffic, I mean, neither one of us really felt like doing much. And there was a lady there on scene calling 911 as we passed by it. I mean, there was debris all over the place. I did get the footage on my dash cam and I reviewed it. I don't think I'm going to make a video about it because it was dark at night. You can't see everything, but you can see some of it. But anyway, I just figured I'd relate that to you. And basically, guys, that's all my week in eBay. I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it enjoyable and informative. Please comment on any topic you wish to address, eBay related. And I hope you make a ton of sales on eBay this week. Rock on and peace.